NERF.
Good evening, welcome back. Well, I say good evening. Don't care for the time, to be honest. Cheers. Right, now, you've just seen the Pyragon. Let us jump back in time again. A lot of people like archery. A lot of old NERF fans have probably just figured out the gun that I'm talking about now. But it's a really interesting conception, a really good idea for a gun, and to be honest, a lot of people that really like archery, like my partner and our friend Ben, they don't really think it's proper. But this is the Big Bad Bow. Now, as you can see, this one's purple and orange instead of the old yellow. That's because this was re-released a short time ago with the release of the Avengers movie, as there is an Avengers logo there, from Hawkeye, who used himself a black bow and arrow. And the first thing that strikes me is the fact that it just looks freaking amazing. The fact that it looks like a bow. You've got the nice curved sections here, you've got the string, you've got these two sections here that hold the darts, and you've got your funnel here. You can do mods to this thing that will increase the power and be able to fire your normal streamlines. But I'm not going to be doing any of that just yet, if at all. So, for the Big Bad Bow, it takes a big bad arrow, and this is the sort of size that we're talking about. It's a lovely seal, actually. It's just... yeah, but it takes this size dart, and this is ridiculous. The only dart bigger than this is the dart from the Titan, which eventually I actually do want to get my hands on, with finding it online and getting the money saved up. So, getting on to the topic at hand, it's a two-handed grip, because obviously you've got to pull this back. It doesn't go back far, so as you can see the string's tension, then you pull the trigger, and then you can push that forward again, and then you're ready, pop the next one on, pull it back and fire again. Now, people say that these strings are only here for decoration. That's not entirely true, because there is a scope here. It is an eyepiece, and the string goes perfectly down the middle, so you can use it as kind of like a crosshair. Guaranteed it's a vertical, not a horizontal, but you can use it as a crosshair. You can try and aim using that, which is, to be fair, an interesting idea. When you buy this, however, there is some assembly required. You do need to put these side orange bits in that hold the darts, you do need to put these black parts on here, you do need to put on here the orange curve parts, the four wheels that you see, and the string is tied around the hilt here. You need to untangle that, thread it through the wheels, poke it through a hole just over here, and then tie it on the other side so it's not going anywhere, and it's the same for both sides. This thing, obviously, because it's the Big Bad Bow, it's an older NERF gun. It doesn't fire particularly well compared to the new Elite style weapons, but this can shoot up to about 8 to 10 meters, which isn't too bad, and the power that you can get from this thing is amazing. If I just pop shot over there, and there's my dart back. Obviously, I would have personally, in my opinion, liked this thing to be a little bit bigger, so you can aim at that, you can pull it back. So you pulled it back, but your hand is still here, but your gun's still over there. So having a nice longer tube, I personally think, one, you'd be able to put it into your shoulder properly, and you'd be able to use like a proper bow and arrow. And because you're not really going to use a bow and arrow like that, because you look like an idiot. To be honest, it looks stupid. You prefer to use a bow and arrow like such. I mean, you probably could. I mean, I could just about look down that scope, but it's still a pain in the backside. The idea of the fact that it's purple I don't really like. I like the colour purple, but on this gun it looks a bit weird, so I'm going to be using this as basically a Black Hawk's bow and arrow from the Avengers, so the whole thing is going to be black, but obviously in case I don't get shot by the police, obviously this bit's going to stay orange, but the black tubing along the top here, and probably this whole black section here, is going to be silver, because I like how black and silver sort of mesh together, and they look beautiful together, black and silver. So that's pretty much the paint job that I'm going to go by. But if you prefer a NERF gun that is just a little bit more peculiar than anyone else's, then the Big Bad Bow can be quite one. You might want to do some mods to it, maybe to take out any air restrictors that may be inside, maybe if there's any holes to release any extra air to reduce power, you might want to bung them up, because as fantastic as this is, bow and arrows were generally the long shots. They were long distance attacking, whereas this one is actually very close quarters combat. With the fact that you can sit there and you can aim it and you can, like, yeah, crossbow motherfucker, and pop a shot off, but archery was supposed to be long distance fighting, so if you can do anything to increase the power and the range, I will say do it, and do it well. Because obviously if you can increase the power in this, you can stay back a little bit longer, sit there in the bush with your bow and arrow, and then just poof, take them out of the game. And that's, well, personally that's my opinion. But I know the light's a bit dark, and you can't really see it much because it is a dark colour, but this is the Big Bad Bow. I'm really happy with buying this. I bought this morning for $19.99 in Smith's Toy Store at Westwood Cross, actually. So in American money you can probably get it for 35 to 40 bucks on average, depending on what prices are over there. I'm only going by figures, what I reckon. But that is the Big Bad Bow. This is the Avengers one, and this is Zane Truesdale 1987. Signing off one more time.